March 15, 1820, Maine's bold break. Maine officially became the 23rd state of the United States, marking a significant moment in both regional and national history. The path to Maine's statehood was driven by political, economic, and geographic factors, but its admission also played a pivotal role in the growing sectional tensions over slavery. The Missouri Compromise, which paired Maine's entrance as a free state with Missouri's as a slave state, was a temporary measure in a larger national struggle that would eventually culminate in civil war. Before statehood, Maine was part of Massachusetts. This relationship, dating back to colonial times, became increasingly strained due to Maine's geographic isolation and distinct economic needs. The residents of Maine, many of whom relied on shipbuilding, fishing, and timber industries, felt that Massachusetts legislators often overlooked their interests. The War of 1812 exacerbated these frustrations. British forces occupied eastern Maine, including the town of Castine, and Massachusetts provided little military support. Many Mainers saw this as a failure of their government, strengthening calls for independence. In June 1819, the Massachusetts General Court approved a measure allowing Maine to seek statehood. A referendum followed in July, in which Maine's citizens overwhelmingly supported separation, with a vote of 17,091 in favor and 7,132 opposed. However, Maine's entry into the Union was not merely a local matter. It became entangled in national politics due to the ongoing debate over slavery. At the time, the United States maintained a delicate balance between free and slave states. Missouri had applied for statehood as a slave state, which alarmed many in the North who feared an expansion of slavery's political influence. Southern politicians, in turn, were concerned about maintaining parity in the Senate. The result was the Missouri Compromise, orchestrated by Speaker of the House Henry Clay. Under its terms, Maine would be admitted as a free state, Missouri as a slave state. The Missouri Compromise was a short-term solution that postponed a more serious confrontation over slavery. While it maintained the balance in the Senate, it also highlighted the growing divide between North and South. Many in the North viewed the expansion of slavery as a moral and economic threat, while Southern states increasingly saw federal restrictions on slavery as an infringement on their rights. This sectionalism would only deepen in the decades that followed, leading to the eventual secession of Southern states and the Civil War. For Maine, statehood meant self-governance and greater economic opportunities. The state's first capital was Portland, but it later moved to Augusta in 1832 to provide a more central location for government operations. Maine also became known for its progressive stance on social issues. In 1851, it became the first state to enact a prohibition law banning alcohol, a movement that would later spread nationwide. The admission of Maine into the Union on March 15, 1820, was a defining moment in U.S. history. It reflected local desires for self-rule while simultaneously playing a role in the nation's most pressing issue, slavery. Though the Missouri Compromise sought to maintain balance, it was ultimately a temporary measure in a conflict that would shape the country's future. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history,